9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to IFB, Interfleet Broadcasting, pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel, brought to you by two guys that grew up watching 70s and 80s TV, movies, cartoons. I'm New York Pete, and this is my buddy Chris, the Tipsy Toaster. And Chris.
Hello everybody, welcome. We're glad you're here. So as Pete was saying, we love to do the pop culture and sci-fi thing, and it's great to have an audience out there. And even if there wasn't an audience out there, we still like to talk about pop culture and sci-fi, and we would probably be talking on the phone or something at that effect. So we kind of came up with this broadcast. So that's kind of why we're here, how we ended up together, and hopefully we get a lot of people coming on. Looks like we got people starting to wander in.
Yeah, Fran's here. Lola is here.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl.
Bam, bam, bam. And Chris from Down Under, Chris Laskowski from Australia is watching with us. And as you guys pop up on my monitor, I'll make sure to give our little shout outs as we normally do. So welcome everybody. We have a guest. We have Tara. We have some updates. I went to WinterCon, and we'll get more with WinterCon when John 1 rotates back into the scene. But I'll tell you a little bit about, what we did. And we'll also talk about some of our themes that are coming up this year. But in the meantime, Chris, I think it's time to do our toast and to thank he who bought our drinks for us tonight.
Yeah, that would be great. So tonight we have two sponsors still. We're still running a little bit off the money from Mediocre Modeler. So if you haven't checked out Mediocre Modeler, check him out. He's on Facebook and YouTube, and he does some great stuff. He's getting ready to give away a Tesla gun kit, so you can build it. He took the Tesla gun kit and made a metal model out of it. So it's been a great series so far to watch that and watch lessons learned a lot.
Oh yeah, and I think that's it's linked to Warehouse 13.
Yes, yeah, it's Warehouse 13 is a Tesla gun. And then John One, our very own John One, chipped in, and we didn't know until last minute. So thanks, John. So tonight, the beers are on those two. And I am with, let's see, mine is Allagash North Sky.
Ooh.
It says, like a clear night by the stars, this silky Belgian-inspired stout balances light notes of fruit and sweetness and roasty malt inspired by evenings spent around a fire. North Sky is brewed up, merge lightness and darkness into a subtle sippable stout. I don't know too many sippable stouts, but this one's from Maine. So once again, this is brought to you by Not My Wallet for once.
Well, I have a hard cider, Angry Orchard Green Apple. And again, this is brought to us courtesy of our own John One, who is our news anchor. And this is from New York State. And green, you know why it's the green one? Because it's St. Patrick's Day. So anybody noticed that we had that green filter on? That's because St. Patty's. So
and if they would have read it, they've known that the fourth Lord of Cobalt was Lord St. Patrick.
He was today. So
he was today.
Ready? Are you ready? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Ah.
All right. Waiting all week for that noise.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's pour this.
Ready? Go ahead.
It's not as chewy as the other one.
No, the other one was pretty. The other one looked like a cookie. That's good stuff. All right. And there we
I've never had
are.
a fruity stout. This ought to be interesting.
Oh boy. All right. So
what?
Toast.
Oh, you're waiting for me?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you.
All right. So we normally do this every time. We like to thank the fans for being here. We like to thank the people who invented the fandoms, the people who support the fandoms, the comic book people, the people who sell stuff, the people who write stuff. Those are the people that build the fandom. So we like to toast a happy and healthy cheer to you and those out there. And as we always say, what do we say, Pete?
Fans fuel the fleet, everybody. Here's to you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Fans fuel the fleet.
So, new idea. Oh, Fran says, new idea for fan fiction, snakes on Battlestar. I know how that yes, I know how that's gonna go.
Snakes in a cockpit. Modeler. There we go. That would be better.
That would be great.
Tarantulas in a cockpit.
A friendship made in deep space. Yes, and Lola says cha cha cha. All right, guys. Everybody's got jokes. We love it. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the show. And of course, thank you to everybody that watches us in reruns and syndication around the world in the thousands, which is mind-boggling, but well appreciated. So thank you for your support, everybody. Without any further ado, we have Tiny Bean Tara, who's our TV critic, and she's going to bring us up to speed with some good sci-fi that's being shown now. And we'll talk a little bit with her afterwards. So, Tara, it's all you.
No, it's not yet. Hang on.
Press the button.
Jumped. And now it's all her.
All right, come on.
Now it's all her.
There we go.
Hi, guys. Are we all good? All right.
I will be after I finish a couple of these. I've only got two. So
seriously. Well, hello, IFB. It's great to be back, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. There is so much going on right now. There is literally not enough time in the day to catch up on all of the cool new stuff on deck for fans like us, especially if Star Wars or Star Trek is your bag. Now, I've got you covered. Let's start with the sure-to-be epic mini-series Obi-Wan Kenobi. Disney continues to pull out all of the stops in the Star Wars universe, full of content. Here, we're going to have a 6-episode mini-series bringing back the fabulous Ewan McGregor in this iconic role. The series is set to begin about 10 years after the soul-crushing events of Revenge of the Sith, and it follows a not surprisingly kind of sad and broken Obi-Wan Kenobi back on Tatooine. They will also be bringing back Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader and Joel Edgerton as Owen, and will also feature a young Luke Skywalker. Now, these are being directed by Deborah Chow, who helmed several episodes of the first season of The Mandalorian, so I have high hopes for this one. The trailer looks great. Will drop on May 25th on Disney+. And P.S. I will be in Disney next month visiting Star Wars World, and I can hardly wait. Expect to see images of me online weeping at the sight of the Millennium Falcon, because that's going to happen. Just be ready, because that will be me. Now, over in the Star Trek realm, we have Strange New Worlds to look forward to. I am very excited for this one. It takes place in one of the several alternate timelines in the Trek universe, and here we will be following Captain Christopher Pike, played by Anson Mount, and the early days of the USS Enterprise. We will also meet a young Spock, played by Ethan Peck, and they are already talking about season 2, which is already filming right now, and bringing in a young James T. Kirk. Now, First season is 11 episodes. It's created by Akiva Goldsman, executive producer on Star Trek Discovery and Picard, and I have a lot of wonderful things to say about this human. This one looks really good, gang. Now, speaking of Picard, what are you guys all thinking about season 2 so far? Now, I'm really enjoying it. I thought the first half of the first episode was a little slow to get started, but once they found their footing, bam. And then episode 2 with Q, the great John Delancey, was pretty epic, as Q transports Picard and his crew members into an alternate bizarro world reality where Picard is this ruthless, bloodthirsty dictator in a universe where the only safe universe is a human universe, and the extermination of other species is prized. Now, episode 3 just dropped today. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I'll be checking it out later tonight. I'm thinking this show is really fun, and they just wrapped up filming season 3, and they can definitely count me in for the rest of the ride. Now, I have a couple of new movies for you all to check out, and they couldn't be more different if they tried. First, please check out After Yang on Showtime. Now, this film dropped at Sundance, and it stars a wonderfully subdued and introspective Colin Farrell. In this version of the future, there are what they call techno-sapiens. They're AIs, and you can buy them to become a part of your family. In this case, Farrell and his wife bought Yang, and Yang is to act as a sort of a big brother for their young adopted Asian daughter. But now, what happens when that AI breaks down? And what if you can't get him back up and running? So when Yang breaks down, so does the family. This film, very softly, quietly, and subtly asks the age-old question, what does being human actually mean? It put me very much in mind of one of my favorite books of all time, the book called Never Let Me Go by Kasura Ishiguro. This movie, it's brutal in its honesty. It's heartbreaking in its intensity. It is not for everyone. Now, especially if you don't like quiet, introspective films. But I did love it, and I can't stop thinking about it. But you know what I loved even more? The Adam Project.
Oh, that was good.
The complete opposite of this. Now I'm telling you, just run your TV and turn on Netflix. Then check your brain at the door and break out the popcorn. This is the ultimate sci-fi action comedy throwback film you have been waiting for, especially if you're fans of time travel. It has elements of Back to the Future, Terminator, and even echoes one of my favorite lesser-known films, a little film called Frequency with Dennis Quaid.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen that one?
That was a good one.
Step into the Wayback and rewatch it, and then watch The Adam Project. Tell me what you think. Now, in a nutshell, Ryan Reynolds is a space pilot in 2055 who somehow gets transported back to his hometown in 2018, where he has to enlist the help of himself at 12 years old. Played to perfection by a young actor named Walker Scobell, who pretty much nails his Ryan Reynolds impersonation.
Oh my gosh.
It's right. It's oh my God, everything. And then throw in Jennifer Garner as his mom, who's newly widowed, and later you meet his dad, played by the always wonderful Mark Ruffalo. Now, anyone else catch that nod to 13 going on 30? Because I did.
Yep.
But it's probably just a girl thing. I don't know, but I went, oh, yeah, it was amazing. Plus, we've got the always badass Zoe Saldana is in this, and Catherine Keener is playing the ultimate space villain kind of goof. And the dog. Did I mention the dog? There's a beautiful golden retriever, and he's so precious. But anyway, there are fight scenes that are so off the hook, including one to Led Zeppelin's Good Times, Bad Times, that I rewound to watch multiple times just for the sheer joy of it. The overall soundtrack here is almost like another character. It's that good. There are scenes that are also absolute tearjerkers too. There's one in particular where Ryan Reynolds is at a bar and his mom walks in to talk to the bartender, and he's overhearing her talk about how hard it is to raise a 12-year-old boy. And it's just really precious. Now, for the naysayers out there, and I know you're out there, yeah, some of the CGI aging and de-aging stuff looks a little wonky. And sure, there are some messy bits with the timelines, etc. and all, but just let that go. Because if you can't just sit back and enjoy a movie like this, you do not know what you are missing. It is pure joy. And I feel like that's part of what makes sci-fi and action fans fans. And as we know, fans fuel the fleet. Back to you, Pete.
Oh, awesome. Jeff Walters says it was a good movie. Mediocre Modeler said it was amazing. Lola says hello. And we all like a good time travel movie. So I'm
it was a really good show. I mean,
it Really, right?
The
I think I've
soundtrack
watched it 3
things.
times.
Yeah, the music and the soundtrack things that it reminded me a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy type deal with the older style music and it was really good. You got to catch I don't know where it's at, but you'll have to look for it. But the kid, I don't remember the actor's name. That plays the young Ryan Reynolds. He is so infatuated with Ryan Reynolds. He actually he's in the back seat while between takes, and he's reciting word for word Deadpool. The entire section where he talks, he enacts it just like is like, well, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
he's such a Ryan Reynolds fan.
You can totally tell he nails the impersonate, everything from like an eyebrow raise to an inflection on a word, and you really think that you were looking at Ryan Reynolds talking to himself at 12.
Yeah. But I couldn't help looking at the dad fun. Thinking Hulk. So
yes, I know. I love him. And like I said, even going back to, 13 going on 30, it's like, oh my gosh, it's Mark Ruffalo. He's fabulous. So yeah, this is a fun movie. If you want to just have fun and enjoy something that I think this is destined to become a classic. I think kids will be talking about this in 20 years.
Yeah, it was a good one. It beats the heck out of Waste of Time. So
oh my God, leave it alone. I can't. You just all right, whatever. By the way,
I'm still upset about that one. I'm sorry.
There's hours of my life I'll never get back.
Oh, stop. Mediocre Modeler says, not afraid to admit it brought a tear to my eye.
Oh, yeah.
And I, of course, told him that tears are human. And Chris, you wouldn't know anything about it because you're an AI.
No, we rust.
So
we don't want that to happen.
So, Chris, you need to watch After Yang because it's all about the AIs.
Yes, you'll
all
enjoy
about
that,
the AI.
Especially.
Yeah.
So, James McCoy, late, but hello from Indiana. Welcome, of course, James. I'd like to have you here and on board the ship and watching with us. Thank you. So Tara, you're going to be in the thick of things in Orlando. So we're looking forward to getting your report and taking some pictures, of course, and giving us your take on Galaxy's Edge.
The only thing I saw on Galaxy's Edge was everybody posting the pictures of them sitting down waiting in line.
No,
that's what I'm afraid of.
Nah, you're gonna have a great time. Make sure you drink the blue milk and all that other good stuff, and you're gonna have a great time.
Gross.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. It really is.
Looks it. Oh stuff. Man, I can't wait.
All right, so you're gonna circle around again in a while. John 1 will fill in the gap, and looking forward to hearing the next report, Tara, and then I'll watch some of the movies that you recommended, and we'll have a little more a little talk about it.
Oh, great! Awesome! I look forward to it.
Upload is the next one I'm going to watch. The second season.
Yeah, that's on deck too. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks good.
So much. I need more. I need like more than 24 hours in a day to watch everything.
Who needs work?
Yeah, who needs work? Forget about work. Let the work go.
Yeah.
Tiny Bean, thanks for tuning in and stopping by and giving us a report. Appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Stay safe, be awesome, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Great, thanks,
and
guys.
Don't drink the blue milk.
Yes, drink blue milk.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you soon.
Take care.
All right, there's to you, Tara. Thank you. All right, guys. So we have a guest. And we are very, very happy to have him on board. It's our first live interview with a comic book store owner. And this is one that has a deep history. And I am a patron of the original. And so when I heard that this was going to happen, I was very, very happy. And so without further ado, St. Mark's Comics is in the house, and Mitch is here with us. And so, Chris, if you press the right buttons, I think we can have our guest on.
Clap off.
Oh, boy.
No, that didn't work?
No, that didn't work, buddy.
All right, then make
you
it
gotta do
so.
something. There you
Hey
go.
guys,
Hey, Mitch, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
thanks for
Um,
having me.
so St. Mark's Comics is here in New York City is a well-known institution in, certain circles, our circles, and it's got a rich history. And now you're in Brooklyn. So you've left Manhattan, New York City, and you've moved location. Tell us a little bit about that whole background.
We were on St. Mark's Place for 36 years. We did have a store in Brooklyn Heights for a while. A while was 28 years.
Jeez.
We had a store down near the World Trade Center, but that for obvious reasons that closed, and eventually closed the Brooklyn Heights store. And finally, we closed the Manhattan store because the neighborhood kind of came out from under us. If you're from New York, you know what I'm talking about. I took some time off because I hadn't had any in 36 years.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
and about 7 months ago, we opened here in Industry City, Brooklyn.
That is awesome. Because I remember your Brooklyn Heights shop. I really like going to it.
Thank you.
And of course, the Manhattan store was iconic. You couldn't, if you were a comic book collector, you couldn't actually say that you'd never been to St. Mark's in Manhattan. That's a place that you would had to have gone, and I am one of them. Happy to say.
Thank you.
So tell us now. Tell us about the future. What is, and where are we going with your vision?
Well, Industry City is a terrific reuse complex. It's a bunch of industrial buildings that have turned into a million great restaurants and shops and exciting things to do. We've got a great spot. We're right across from the bar. So we've got a bar.
Ooh.
We've got vintage clothing, tattoo shop, vinyl records. So we brought the East Village back with us. That's what we did.
Cool.
So,
Very cool.
Industry City is a particularly friendly to events, and so I guess the next event we have coming up is the Brooklyn Independent Comic Showcase, which is an opportunity for very small press guys to have inexpensive tables, be out in the courtyard we have right outside our doors. You were just showing the picture. It'll be Saturday, April 9th. It's going to be all day. Tables are very inexpensive, and admission for the public is free. And it's a chance to give that community an opportunity to be seen.
Well, fantastic. And this is the first one that you're putting together. Hopefully, the first of many, Mitch. How do you? What's the goal? Is this something that you want to do regularly or once in a while, or what was the motivation?
Well, we always did events at St. Mark's, but we couldn't do quite as many, and they had to be limited because if you were ever in the shop, it was a very small space. Our current space is twice as wide, with giant ceilings, and so it's a much more comfortable experience. And we have doors out onto the spectacular courtyard. So we've already done more events. We did signing events for New York Comic Con, and we did signing events for our opening day in July. We plan on doing many more events now that we have so much more space to work with. But this particular event in the courtyard is one that we wanted to do because St. Mark's Comics has always been the place where you would go to get the thing that you can't find anywhere else, no matter how small the publisher or how obscure the item. So we bring that in when it's new. We buy back things that nobody else would ever buy back. So we wanted to reestablish that in our new spot. Yes, we're in a different spot. Yes, it's we've changed some things around, but we are still the place to go to get everything.
And Mitch, what about online? Are you doing any online stuff?
Yeah, this is really my partner Nick is expert in that part of the business. where I am certainly not. So we are doing the website is active and useful, which it never was before, and we have a much better online presence, and it will get better as time goes on.
Outstanding. I was on your website. As a matter of fact, I ran into Nick at WinterCon, and
Hmm.
that's how we managed to set this up. And what about your backstock? How do you go about getting backstock of older comics? What how do you work something like that out?
Well, we try to be creative in that. We are, I mean, we're always buying at the shop. We're always, so, Monday to Friday, 12 to 5, we are buying at the store. Plus, we have folks who have collections large enough where we're going to them. Then there's warehouse deals or other shops that are maybe unloading product, or uh, the number of ways you can acquire product. There are always people selling stuff for money. So if you want to give them the money,
There's nothing wrong with that. I know, Mitch, that over in Industry City, where the new shop is, there's
Mhm.
parking because I've been down there before
Oh, that's
prior
always a
to you
problem. Yeah.
opening up. So there
There is
is,
parking.
which is very, very important. So
There is
that's a good
parking, but
thing.
also I do want to point out that the D, N, and R trains are all a block and a half away. It sounds like it's far away, but it's really like 20 minutes from Midtown Manhattan. It's kind of surprising if
Huh.
you haven't done it before. It's the 36th Street stop on the D, N, and R, and it's like 20 minutes from Midtown.
Wow, that's a good location then. So guys, hey, perfect excuse to get down to St. Mark's, and as you should be. And of course, we like the idea that there's that presence, the digital internet presence, and so you can pick up your T-shirts and you have your branded stuff, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at.
Um,
Matter of fact, I was just looking at the shot glasses.
oh
I
yeah,
was gonna say, something told me that shot glasses were your particular thing, kid.
Yep.
you
Maybe
guessed
it was
right,
the
Mitch.
tipsy toaster part. I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah, there's shot
Yes,
glasses.
possibly.
Where's
Oh
where's
yeah,
that? It's St. Marcos. There it is. So I'll probably be ordering one of those when we
there
get
you
done here.
go. Oh yeah.
Coffee cups and
Mitch,
shot glasses. That's the combo.
I like the coffee mug myself, but look, a classic baseball shirt and tote bags and everything else. Love it. Love it. Mitch, you're a sci-fi fan.
I am.
How does that kind of blend into what you do? Does it enhance or not?
We all have our areas of expertise. I mean, the stock is so broad
Oh yeah.
that no one of us can know everything. So I'm the sci-fi guy. I'm the Star Trek guy. I'm the Battlestar guy.
Woohoo!
So yeah. So if there are questions about that, we are trying to work out now. We're having a conversation because we know that we could sell, a giant stack of Vipers every month for the rest of our lives. So we're working on stocking that.
Cool. Ah,
Oh
good
yeah.
stuff.
Vipers.
Oh,
If you come across Colonial Warrior helmets or something. Yeah, if somebody 3D prints those and sells them at your store or something, those will go like
Well, if
hotcakes.
somebody 3D printed them, we wouldn't take them.
Oh yeah.
Right? Legal stuff only, please.
There you go. You're right. You're right. What was the
that's
most?
the way to do
Yeah.
it.
What's been the
Sorry.
most interesting item that you've seen come in?
Ugh,
You've been
the
around
most
a while,
interesting
so
one. Yeah, we've been doing this a long time. I mean, there's been a lot of great comics, a lot of the classic comics that you'd expect, the Spider-Man one, the Fantastic Four one, things like that over the years. Every collection, they're mostly interesting in the way we get them. When I worked at a comic shop when I was 15, and 30 years later, somebody brings in a giant collection of comics, and you look at the copy and you see the copy, and you're like, I sold this 15 years ago, 30 years
Ooh.
ago, whatever. I recognize that copy. I sold that. Things like that. The customers that you've had that stay for 30 years, the customers who come in now and tell us how glad they are that we reopened, and the folks that I've known literally for 40 years.
Wow.
The fact that you're often serving third and sometimes fourth generation customers is super exciting.
Mitch, tell us about the convention scene. How much into that are you?
We have always done conventions. We've been doing New York Comic Con since before there was actually New York Comic Con. We love doing it. Those guys are great. We do all the local cons. We love working with WinterCon and EternalCon. We'll do all sorts of local shows. It's a great way to meet folks. It was a great way to remind people that we were still around in the in between time before we opened here at Industry City. And it's great to be out there and see folks who maybe don't know about the shop and get to meet them that way, and folks like you.
Which is the furthest convention that you've been to for yourself, and which was the one that you've done work wise?
Well, I haven't gone that far afield for the shop. Nick did a Transformers Con, which I want to say was in Baltimore this year. So he did that. But I mean, for work, we've been to San Diego a bunch of times, and all over the country with work related to shows. So San Diego and Chicago and Madison, Wisconsin, and
Oh, wow.
Okay, wow. Any favorites?
I love New York Comic Con. It's hard to beat the weather at San Diego, and you can't.
Yeah.
So I've never worked a table in San Diego. So when I'm out in San Diego, it's work during the day and enjoy San Diego at night, and that's really hard to beat. But at New York Comic Con, so people don't come to New York Comic Con. People don't come from Europe to New York for Comic Con for a weekend. They come for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we would start being incredibly swamped a week and a half before the show.
Wow.
Every night leading up to New York Comic Con, we do events. So starting on not the Friday of the con, but the week before, we start doing signings and product launches and various events with publishers and creators, and we do them every night all the way through the show. So when the show is actually happening, it's you're at the booth at 8 in the morning. You leave when the show floor closes. You go straight to the shop for the event. You're done at the event at 10 or 11. You might drink. And then
No.
But
You've been to Dragon Con? Oh, that's a drinking one.
I have heard that.
Oh, you got to go.
You turn right around and you're doing it again, and it's insane, and you never sleep, and it's the best show. It's just the most fun.
Outstanding. What do you collect, Mitch?
It's a slippery slope.
Oh.
I have one shelf of the very bestest of trade paperbacks and things, because if I let myself start taking the stuff home,
it's like working at a pound.
Never stop. I couldn't do it. That's so when I tell folks that I actually own a copy of this, that's like just buy it, because
Okay.
I can't give you a better recommendation.
Wow.
What's
Oh,
your
that's
most
pretty
prized
cool.
possession then?
God. My most prized work-related possession
Yes.
would probably be the watch that I've been wearing for the last 30-something years. In 1991, for the anniversary of Captain America, Marvel had the only great prize Marvel ever gave out was, if you buy enough Captain America #1s, you can have this groovy watch. And so I'm a huge Captain America fan, so I've been wearing this watch ever since. I
You got it on?
don't know if I don't know if a camera would pick it up, but
It's pretty close enough. It should. Yeah. Oh wow! It's
Ooh,
gold.
nice.
so
That's beautiful.
yeah. So thank you. So I've been wearing that for the last 31 years. That's probably my most prized work possession.
Very cool. You know, Mitch,
Thank you.
there's a Steve Rogers Captain America statue over there.
I
Have you seen it?
I know. I have,
Ah,
and we've been. It is not in our courtyard, but that is not for lack of trying.
So
And
they're gonna wake up one morning. How did it end up over there?
oh, it's big. It's big, man. It's very
we're
cool. It's big.
we're working on it.
It's definitely worth seeing. If you're going down to St. Mark's, if you're going to go to the store, make sure that you also visit the statue of Captain America. It's gigantic. It's really big. It's really cool. So it's like a 1-2. Stop off at the statue would be my advice, and then go over to St. Mark's. I went to go see the statue. I went there before St. Mark's had opened, but now I got a good excuse to do both of those. So Mitch, the next convention coming up that you guys are going to be involved in, besides your own, the Brooklyn artists that you're sponsoring yourself, but the next convention is what?
We are. I'm not sure because I don't have the schedule in my head. I know the next big event immediately after the Independent Showcase is Free Comic Book Day.
Oh
Which
yeah.
is always an enormous event, and made more so by the enormous number of children here at Industry City. That's probably the biggest surprise. Is we always had kids at St. Mark's. We knew there'd be more kids here, but the order of magnitude has shocked us.
Wow, in a good way. Good.
That's in May,
it's
isn't
great.
it?
It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. We love the kids. We are just surprised by how many there are, and last year Free Comic Book Day was pushed to August, so we had opened about 15 minutes beforehand, and it was still massive. So now that we've had enough time to really be here, when it's in May, I think it will be crazy. So we'll be letting everybody in. We're working on a really great event for that, a really great sign-in. I can't announce it yet. I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll be there, but he also hasn't actually said that formally. So, but we're working on a great event.
Yeah, let us know. We'll throw it up on our site when I get a chance.
We will tell you. You'd want to talk about it.
Cool. Very cool.
I'll drive up.
So, Mitch, can you tell us a little bit about? There's been some talk about distribution issues. DC and Marvel, and some of the indies are having problems getting their publications out. Is that really impacting you guys or not?
Well, I don't know exactly to whom you are referring. I know that we've been able to get our Marvel stuff, DC, all the like the top two, no problem. The I guess the next tier of Image, Dark Horse, IDW, all those got no issues at all. We've found that a lot of their books are getting here later than expected, but I just assume those are supply chain issues, and I haven't heard anybody complain, gosh, I can't get my book into stores for that. That's not been a problem we've experienced.
Oh, good. All right, good to hear. Because there has been out there a little, a little bit of talk about how the supply chain and or some of the distribution channels have been affected by whether or not DC is going with somebody else, and so good. No, that's good to know. Good to hear that. At least you guys got
the books are getting here. We're getting everything. If there are particular publishers who've been affected by one or the other, I'm not aware of it, and we certainly haven't seen it yet. but we've been getting all our stuff.
Cool. Up and coming independent series.
Gosh, what's that's tough because what's independent these days?
Huh.
You know,
Okay. How
to,
about a
to,
small
to some
press?
um, I've been liking a lot of what Aftershock is doing.
Okay.
I've been liking. I thought Maniac of New York is a spectacular book, and it's hard to put a book out about crazy subway murders in the 70s and 80s. It's hard to put that out past me because I lived here for all of that. So so you've got to it's got to be right. And
Sure.
and I'm enjoying the Aftershock stuff. There's some stuff by Scout that's nice. There's some stuff. There are books. There's things. That's the most important thing I think for people to remember is that there is something out there for everybody, and if you're open to it, whatever your interest is, there's books for you.
Cool.
The number of folks who come in because they know that their kids are into it or their spouse is into it, but think that there's nothing for them. And then once we start talking about what kind of movies they like,
Oh yeah.
it's like, oh, well, then you might like this book or that book, and it always surprises them how much material there actually is for them.
It's good stuff then. Have you seen any of the movies to include Batman?
I have seen Batman. I've seen a bunch of movies, but I've seen Batman, sure.
Opinion?
That first 2.25 hours was pretty good.
Okay, fair enough. Excellent. I haven't seen it yet.
Pete said he was going to go see it. Me, I'm not a DC fan. I'm not a
no,
Batman
I am
fan.
going.
So
listen.
I'll wait till it comes out on Netflix or Amazon.
Well, here's the most important thing. The Bat Cat stuff they got great. You can pick this nit or that nit, but the relationship between the cat and the bat was great. Jeffrey Wright was spectacular as James Gordon. So those things are great, and Alfred was very good. There's a lot of good stuff in it.
That's pretty much what everybody else that's seen it at work and otherwise have told me the same thing. So, yeah, it's on my list. I think, Chris, you're missing out, but as long as you get to see it, that's the number one thing. You're like a Marvel guy, aren't you?
Were we just talking about the open-minded thing?
No, I'm open-minded.
Chris.
I'll watch it, but I'm not going to spend my money to go see it. I was never a Batman fan.
I'm gonna try to change your mind on that.
Nah.
But
just to me, he's just not that much of a superhero. He's a rich guy. Just a rich guy who's got a lot of toys.
Rich guys could be okay. They could be fun.
I mean, they're great movies. Don't get me wrong. I've loved the movies that I've seen, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather watch science fiction.
Okay. You're lost, Chris, but I think, yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see if we don't get you to see it one way or the other.
Oh, I'll see it. Like I said, when it gets to Amazon or, Netflix or Hulu or something, I'll watch it then.
All right,
but
sounds
good. I love the Harley Quinn, what do they call it? The three of them or four of them they were there. Bullseye, Harley Quinn, and I can't remember that movie.
Oh boy.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Do you mean Birds of Prey?
That's it. Something like that. Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Some of them are good.
It wasn't a waste of time, at least.
It seems that there's an issue with these two, DC and Marvel. One seems to make really good movies or better quality movies than they do TV, and the other one, it's the flip. It's just quite the opposite. So I don't know. I
think we're just living in we're living in an age of everything is either Star Trek or Star Wars. Everything. Every single new show is Star Trek or Star Wars. I mean, there's Lower Decks, there's everything.
Hey, listen, Mediocre Modeler says Tony Stark is a rich guy with toys, and you like Marvel, so what the heck?
Eh,
Well,
but
because he has a cooler
he's
suit, is that
cool, I
it?
guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I got you.
At least he's the same person every time. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Robert Downey Jr. is always
What are you gonna do when Tom Cruise shows up in that armor?
turn the channel.
Turn
Change
the
the channel.
channel. Oh, don't be like that. Oh, come on.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. We shall see. Oh,
It's
some
been
of
so
the big
long
Jeff-
since I've been to a movie, though. I mean, ever since
Oh,
the
you gotta
pandemic
go.
thing,
Gotta
I
get back
haven't been
out,
to a
man.
movie since the start of before even the pandemic started. I used to go to the movies
Yeah.
all the time.
I'm
Make an
going.
excuse to go to the movies.
Nah,
But
I'm
now,
going, man.
I bet the movie theaters are just suffering so bad right now.
Oh, they are.
Well, that's
Big
why you
time.
need to get out there and help them out.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
why I go to comic
And-
book shops everywhere I go. So
Yeah.
if I travel somewhere, I'm always at a comic book shop, and I will buy at least something there.
Well, we
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Thank you.
That's the name of the game. Got to do it. Got to support
Yep.
the local economy and the local comic book stores, or else what are we gonna do without them if we don't do that? So, yeah, Mitch, we're looking forward to getting down there personally and seeing you. I know that you're probably at the store quite a bit, so one of these days we'll run into you.
And what's the
Yeah,
biggest challenge
I'll
about
there.
running a store like that? Is it just not having enough time off, or what's your biggest challenge?
Wow. There aren't enough hours in a day ever.
Oh boy.
I think it goes
That's
a lot
it.
of work.
There aren't
yeah.
enough hours in a day ever, and I'm sure that other comic shop guys will say that. I'm sure that if you own a shoe store or a liquor store or any small business, that will always be the answer. Not enough time ever.
Not enough time, not enough employees to do everything, not enough money
Yeah.
to pay all the employees to do everything.
Well, while we are looking for some staff, and that is true, our staff over 40 years, our staff is legendary. We have great folks, and we always have. And they are the reason that people come here. Is that the staff is so good, the service is so good,
There you go.
and it's all them.
Yeah, even being an owner, like I like to hear that from an owner, or co-owner, somebody who's hey, it's my staff that does all the work. I mean, that's a leadership piece that it's kind of important that you sing the praises of your staff more than you sing the praises of yourself, and that's important because and if they're not, I don't know, if they're probably not listening in or paying attention tonight, maybe they'll watch it in replay, but that's important that somebody like that, like yourself, supports them like that. That's great.
Well, thanks. I mean, if they don't hear it here tonight, it's certain that they have heard it before and will hear it again. None of this happens without them.
Yep.
And that's a long list over the arc of 40 years.
Oh yeah.
Mitch, how many were you able to hold on to? Were you able to bring over any of the old staff?
Yeah, we had a bunch of them come back. Something like 60% of the current staff are folks who were staff before.
That's cool. Very cool.
Especially after a 3-year break. That's spectacular.
Oh heck yeah!
We couldn't be happier.
Oh, that is so cool. What is some of the hottest comics that you have now? What's moving?
Yeah,
like,
what's your best
hot
seller?
and heavy? Yeah.
Saga, which is kind of a shock that after 3 years, so many people would still be interested. We went crazy in ordering it for a new shop because remember, you got to order it 2 months in advance. So, we were ordering our January sagas in November when we had been open for 4 months, and we took this wild, crazy bet on it and sold them all out. And we
wow.
sold the next issue, and we're trying to get them back. But Saga and some of the Bat books, and Spider-Man, and every kids book ever published.
Oh,
Nice.
really? Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Because I guess because it's they got the kids are so close by down there.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever works. So, Mitch, do you do the previews as well? Do you let your customers come in and put in orders, or is that not something that you do?
So, besides our extraordinarily talented staff, one of the reasons that people come here is we are always looking for the way to do the thing you want us to do. So that means we'll ship your books or your toys, or we'll ship things to you. Sometimes we have a $500 thing, and you walk in and your jaw drops, and you're, oh my god, I've been looking for that forever, but I don't have $500. All right, give us $100 down and pay it off over time. Or uh, can you hold stuff for us? And we certainly do reserves where you say, hey, here's my list of books I get every month. Please pull them for me. I'll be in whenever I'll be in. We do that. And we absolutely do pre-orders. And we are not bound to the previews. So we don't make you turn in a previews order every month. You just have your list, because we have found over 40 years that if you're buying Batman and Detective and World's Finest, and there's an annual, you probably want the Batman annual. But the number of people who have come in over the years saying, yeah, the other place didn't put it in my bag. Like, I don't know how that is, but okay, yes, here you go. So we're not making you put in that order every month. We're understanding who you are and what you do. And, we'll put in the, anything by Hickman, or, you can put that note on, and, we'll do the work.
Cool. Very cool. That's what we like to hear. Man, I'm stoked that you guys are back in the scene. I know you've been around a little bit, since the whole upgrade and update, and it's good to hear and know. I'm glad we got a chance to actually run into you at WinterCon, and we're hoping that we hear more from you, Mitch. We'd like to help promote, and I mean, you guys have been a rock in New York City in terms of a comic book store that everybody knows and loves and respects. So this is our chance to kind of give back a little bit, and we're glad that you're here with us. The fans that are writing in, they're also great shops like these are loyal to their customers and vice versa. Absolutely, John. Thanks for tuning in and supporting. So, Mitch, what do you foresee for the rest of this year? How do things play out in your mind in terms of the industry?
It will be interesting to watch where distribution goes. We know that IDW is going to be moving some books from Diamond. It will be interesting to see if other publishers follow suit. If Diamond does anything different to see to compensate for that. But that's all how the sausage is made. I don't think the fans care about any of that. I think the fans care about, it's Wednesday, do you have my comics? I think that's the important thing, right? They don't care how the sausage is made. They just want to know that it's grilled. So, what do I see? I see from the things that we've looked at and the things that we've been shown, I see a huge, amazing array of product that's going to test our ability to carry everything that's produced. But we're going to find a way. We are still blessed to be growing at a ridiculous rate, and so it's a question now of, all right, we got all this cool stuff, and there's all this other cool stuff coming. Where the hell are we going to put it? So that's
well, you got a bigger shop now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you'd be surprised how quickly we were able to fill it up. So,
I'm sure.
And that's so we are constantly looking for clever new ways to display all of this fabulous product. And every time I think, all right, we have bought all the things that we can buy. We did a buy last week. We bought a 3,000 books, and there were a bunch of really great things in there, and it was awesome. It was wonderful, including Avengers 7 through 300.
Wow.
So That's like,
Holy
you know,
cow.
first Kang and first Vision and first New Team and a million, first Ultron, a million other really great books in there. And we're like, oh, we're really excited. And then you can't even get to play with those books for the next collection that comes in. And, you know, Nick is working on a whole set of G.I. Joes right now that he's been trying to work on for months, but, you know, the Thundercats before it and the Star Wars before that and you just, you know, and the import toys before that, how fast can you go?
Right.
Yeah.
Not enough hours in the day. So, you know, and then I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Decks are cleared. I'm going to work on those Avengers. I'm really going to enjoy playing with the old comics. That's awesome. And then I've got a call that there's a guy in the neighborhood who wants to sell us 36 boxes of Civil Age DC.
Oh boy.
Okay. So we'll see if that happens.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible.
So that's what I see for us. We're excited for Free Comic Book Day. We're excited for whatever conventions there are this summer. We can't wait to have the warm weather and have 10,000 kids out in the courtyard again. We can't wait for New York Comic Con because we love that. Halloween is an enormous event here.
Oh wow, yeah, I bet.
You know, and we had a crazy Christmas here after being here for 5 minutes. What is Christmas going to be like this year? I don't know. We may be asking you to come give us a hand, Pete.
all good things, man. That
Pete's,
all
Pete's
sounds good.
Needs
The
a job.
busier
He's
it
going to
is,
retire soon. So
that's it. The busier you are, the more you're making, the more people are being happy because they're getting what they want, and that's all good. That's, I think, what everybody wants to hear all around. So yeah, all good stuff, Mitch.
Thank you.
Keep us in the loop. We would love to have you come back and help announce any of the other stuff. We're going to put up a link to the store. And so anybody that's local or anybody that's visiting New York and you got time and you want to go to a outstanding comic book shop, it's St. Mark's, and you can go see the statue of Captain America as well. So that's definitely something to do. We always do that, bitch. When I get together with the Tipsy Toaster, we'll jet down to a local comic book store. When I'm traveling, I usually like to try to stop in and see what type of shops are out there. So I invite all of our listeners and our supporters to come down, and if you're looking for something, stop by St. Mark's, and we're looking forward to having you announce whatever you got going on. I'm interested in your the Brooklyn artists that you're going to be doing and your signings too. So keep us in mind, Mitch. Really appreciate you coming down. And any parting shots, Mitch?
No, it's nice of you guys to have me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. We will absolutely keep you informed of the upcoming events. And
cool.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's it.
Yes, absolutely.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Here's to all the fans out there, and to you, Mitch, and St. Mark's.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Tipsy, any last final words on?
No, I look forward to going there and searching through the old stuff. I like the old stuff a lot.
We got a lot of Batman comics for you.
I'll be. The only problem with Batman comics is it's right next to Battlestar, and they just.
There you go.
I can't count how many times I'm like, frickin' Batman, Batman. Battlestar. There's no Battlestar. I just went through like 5,000 Batman comics. There's not a single Battlestar there.
Hey, you got the Osiris that Eagle Moss did, right?
The Osiris? Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Yep.
Checking.
I got almost all the Eagle Moss stuff that I could get. Anything is Battlestar, I've pretty much got it. As Lola says, don't let Tipsy down there because he'll buy everything. Which will make you happy, probably. If you get anything Battlestar in, you get with Pete or me, send us an email, you let me know.
All right, you got it.
I'm all into Battlestar.
We'll take care of you.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks again, Mitch.
All right, thanks,
take
guys.
care for now. And like I said, you have it's an open door here for you, and keep us in the loop, and we'll keep the audience and the followers and everybody else in the loop on what you got going. and we enjoy your store. We are supporters. So you take care, stay safe, and continue being awesome, Mitch.
Yep, you're
Thanks so
you're a
much.
fan, and you're fueling the fleet. So we appreciate you helping the fandom and helping people explore the fandom beyond what was given to us.
Great. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Mitch. All right, so that was really, really cool. Being that I personally have been to the store in most of its actual,
Mhm.
you know, its lives. The only one I haven't been to, of course, is the new one, and I will rectify that soon enough. And man,
Yeah.
it's in a great spot. Chris, you got it next
I
time
wouldn't
you're up
know. I
here.
mean, I'm not from New York. So.
Oh, you're gonna trust me. It's worth. I'm gonna take you out there. It's really nice. It's in a great spot, and we'll go check out the Captain America, the statue as well, and it's really, really cool. So everybody else that's listening and you're out there, John One says, yeah, it's a great store. Yep, great store. And Lola says BSG for me, absolutely. Lola, you'll have to arm wrestle Tipsy for the BSG. That is for sure. That's a guarantee. Imperious Leader is not going to be happy when his Raider returns all spray painted up.
Yeah,
well,
that's what happens there in New York. That's what I made fun of
that's
last
from
time.
Jeff, of course. Yeah. Well, speaking of comic books, guys, I thought this would be kind of the perfect segue.
Yes, comic books I've been looking for. Pete has found.
Ape Nation, man.
Let me get a
Who
close up
would
on
have
that one.
thought? That's insane, right?
Alien
this is just
Nation and Planet of the Apes mashed
all
together.
Yeah, isn't that kind of bizarre? Look at that. That's just insane. And so I'm holding up, some of the issues. I wasn't able to get a full run, but I'm holding up some of these. This is like number 4 of
And
of
there's
a
the other
4.
ones.
And then I actually picked up for myself. Here's Topps Comics Space Above and Beyond number 1, and there's 2 series. I got 1 and 2 from the Space Above and Beyond, the Gauntlet, and I'm missing a couple from the initial official adaptation of.
You're a
the
poet and didn't know
series.
the initial official
Yeah,
adaptation.
yeah. Isn't that weird? But
The initial
anyway.
official?
Yeah. So this is the actual. This is the first one. So I'm holding 2 different sets. So this is the first one that I was alluding to, the initial run of the Space Above and Beyond. There was like 1 through 4, and
Yeah.
then there was, I think this is the end of their run, which is the Gauntlet, and this was
Paul
based
says-
on.
Yeah, Paul says that's some wild stuff.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. And I found it only because the Tipsy Toaster had asked me to look out for Ape Nation, which I was like, what? Planet of the Apes, which is, close and dear to my heart, and Alien Nation getting, crossover.
Yep.
That's pretty wicked. That's cool. So yeah, speaking of comic books, and we John One and I, we went to WinterCon not just this past weekend from this broadcast, and John approached one of the vendors there, and it happened to be Nick, that's Mitch's partner at St. Mark's Comics, and I spoke to him, and we made it happen. He came on the show, and he came on in short notice. So St. Mark's, thank you very much for coming on. You guys were the first comic book store that we interviewed live on IFB. So
Yeah.
that was great, and he's
Talk
a fan,
about,
which we like that.
Talk about a phoenix from the flames story kind of deal. I mean, they were pretty much shut down, and then rising out of the flames of the pandemic, they're back up and running again.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, WinterCon was cool, man. It was yeah. So Ed, was good seeing you at WinterCon. Likewise, it was it's not it's not a gigantic convention. It's I would say it's a very medium-sized one, but it has good guests, good people, good vendors. Everybody's very approachable. We had a good time. Went out to Denver over the weekend, stopped in Mile High. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
hey, Mile High, that's Jeff Walters.
yeah,
We
Jeff.
love Mile High. I'd
That was
been
the first.
there.
I went to Mile High just a little while ago. We did a kind of a thing. It was the first time in there, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
so huge. And then if you look back in the back, it's like it's like rows and rows and
Oh, it's
rows of comic
incredible.
stuff.
It
Um,
is. It really is.
he just
Um,
buys truckloads of them. I mean, I guess he's got
oh
the money
yeah,
for
and he
that.
did,
So
because I was following him on Facebook. So the owner, he went out during the pandemic, towards the end of the pandemic, and he went out and got trailers full. He went throughout the United States and bought out, collections to bring
yeah,
back. And so, one Ed Igma says CradleCon is better. That's another New
never heard
York.
of that one.
Yep, it's out in Long Island, and
Long
it's
Island?
summer.
Am I saying
Long
that right?
Island, baby.
Long Island?
That's right. You better. We also met an artist, John V, and he's actually
Hang
going
on,
to be
hang on,
coming
hang on, hang
on
on.
the
There we
show.
go.
I'm actually holding up. This is his business card, and John V will be coming on, and he is also a big fan of all the shows that we like, Chris, and he's going to be doing a Cylon. He's an artist,
Of course,
so he's
because
gonna.
Cylons are cool. And like I always
Nobody
say,
said they weren't
yes,
cool.
they're always cool. And like I
They
always
don't
say,
rule, but they're. You hold it up a sign that says "Go Cylons" that you just made up on a little piece of paper, and he wrote "Go Cylons." They're cool. They don't rule, but they're cool.
Cylons
Cradle
rule,
of
colonials
Yes,
drool.
yeah. John One just posted the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Long Island is where the that convention is, and I
Oh,
got to
really?
admit that I haven't been to it. It's
Huh.
called CradleCon,
Huh.
and yeah, that's where that is. It's a good, gets a good crowd. We also ran into friends of USS Gerard Holder. It's a Star Trek group, and it's named after one of the members that succumbed to COVID. And I met him on at least one occasion, and so they're probably going to come on the show, Chris. We opened up a channel of communication, so we're gonna be talking to them. As a matter of fact, I spoke to Chris Fian. He's the commander of the Empire City Garrison
Mhm.
of the 501st,
Yeah, we
and
talked to
he's looking. Yeah,
him.
we
Where was it?
interviewed him at New York Comic Con.
Was it New York Comic Con? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was New York Comic Con.
No,
Yeah, that's right.
New York
Awesome
Comic Con,
fun.
and Chris Fian said that he is looking forward to coming back on the show, and so I'm gonna send him out a formal invite and give him a date. So he's gonna be coming back, and he's also he was a very very big Battlestar Galactica fan, still is a fan,
Oh,
but
he kind
back
of
in the
started
day.
some of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was heavily involved. He was one of those go-to people in the fandom, and he was involved with the club, the original, official club of Battlestar Galactica, and so he'll be coming back. Yes, Chris is awesome. That's right, and
Of
so
course I
he'll be
am.
coming back.
Oh.
Yes, all the Chris's are awesome,
Of
but
course I am.
Chris Fian, yeah, and
Triple T, baby.
yeah, Chris from the ECG. His interview is up, guys.
Yeah.
So if you want to go check out his interview, he's got, I don't know, a few thousand views already, and so he's got a small following of his own. And we also met up with Mike Carbonaro from Big Apple Con. So we're going to reach out and see if we can get him on the show. He said that he's open to coming on.
It'd be
He's
kind
going
of
to
fun
have
to talk to somebody who runs a con. I mean, that's
yeah.
what's the
And
what are the expenses of it? I mean, there's kind of I mean, there's some behind the scenes stuff that you probably never think about sometimes. You're like, hey, how much does it cost to run a con? I mean, well, what are the difficulties and You know, if someone was going to start a con, what would you recommend, you know, them do besides commit suicide? That kind of thing.
Yo, we got a message from St. Mark's that says we are not allowed to sell Ape Nation as it breaks the highest law. Ape shall not shill ape.
Oh
Thanks,
my
guys.
gosh.
That was funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're kind of hard to find because they're,
Yeah.
just kind
Well,
of
it's because
weird.
who's only weirdos like myself are looking for something like that. So
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, Paul Roeder. Paul Roeder is in the house. He's been watching with us for a while, or
Yeah.
tuned in. And for those that are not that familiar, for our listeners around the world, we know we have people listening in from just about everywhere. Paul Roeder is also known as Commander Kane in many circles, and he is one of the founders and the admin on Facebook for the Colonial Warriors, and he's involved in a lot of different groups. So it's always nice to have him when he comes on, and he's actually chatting up and sending us messages. Thanks for tuning in, Paul. Really appreciate the support. And both of you should go to CradleCon. You won't regret it. The museum alone is mind-blowing. Yes, I've actually been to the museum, but not to the convention while it's there. So I definitely am looking forward to doing it. It's usually in the summer. So we'll keep that open.
I gotta get to
And
Paul and
Jeff
find out. I don't know where Paul's at. I don't think he's in Seattle, but I want to go to the Science Fiction Museum. They have one in Seattle there, I think.
Yeah, that would be nice. It'd be perfect is to time it with Emerald City and try to get to
ECC.
do that. That would be cool, and to meet up with Paul and his bunch of friends.
Yeah, they were just at. They do a big
get together.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a
Seattle,
trek,
Washington.
they do
an outing. It's
an outing. That's not really the word. It's more of a religious movement towards Las Vegas every so once in a while, and he grabs as many warriors that he can while he goes there. So
yes, that's cool. So guys, we wanted to let everybody know a few things. Well, first, Chris, I also wanted to mention that, for those fans of the gaming, everybody knows that I'm a big Warhammer fan. I dug this. This is a back issue, February 2018, and this is really cool. And this is one of the Emperor's own bodyguards, the Custodies. And this issue of White Dwarf magazine that I'm holding up is dedicated to them, along with other miniatures and models and stuff. So I've been getting back into a little bit of the Warhammer. And
like I told Media Modeler, I can do anything as long as it doesn't require gluing or painting.
Well, I got back into 40K. I took a hiatus because I was researching and writing my own book. But I'm back into it. And the reason that I got to bring this up, guys, is because the Tipsy Toaster got me into the audiobook thing. And so I've been devouring audiobooks and catching up on my 40K, which I love. And so I'm into this big time.
I've been devouring I've just finished. If you've never had a chance to listen to Logan's Run, the original by Nolan, there's two sequels to that. I'm in the last one, almost done with the last one now. But it's Logan's Run, it's Logan's Run, Logan's World, and Logan's Search. Logan's Search it's Logan's Run, Logan's Search, Logan's World.
Wow!
So right now it's I'm doing Logan's World right now, and yeah, totally different. There's no comparison between between the movie and the show, but it's a really good series. Shorter than I thought. I think it could have been. I think he could have. Every book is like 5 hours. I think he could have got it easy in 8 hours out of those books if he would have got more into detail in regards to some of the scenes. But they move quickly, so if you're a little bit ADD like myself, they kind of move and they're good. Little bit of
what? Let it out.
It's not sex, but risque situations where he mentions
Risque.
everything in there. So
Ooh,
being naked bodies
okay.
and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
That stuff's in there.
boy.
Which kind of came out in Logan's Run. If you look at that a little bit, there was some Jenny was barely dressed in the show, and that kind of comes out in the book as well. So it's
all right.
Yeah, if you get a chance, and I think if you're an Audible subscriber, and I'm not selling Audible, I don't do that kind of thing. We don't have any sponsors like Audible. Maybe we should. I don't know.
Yeah, but we should. It'd be kind of cool.
If you have a chance, I think if you're an Audible subscriber, I think Logan's Run, Logan's Search, and Logan's World are all free. If
Good
you
stuff,
have that,
man.
if you're already a subscriber to, however much you get so many credits a month or whatever else. But that and then I think my next one is another. I think I might go to another John Ringo after this one. So.
Oh, okay. Paul Roeder said Seattle, Washington.
That's it.
And then
Pop culture,
Battlestar,
yes. Museum of Pop
Yes.
Culture.
Battlestar Bulletin Board. Sean Shallow, thank you for joining us. It says Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Happy St. Patty's to you, buddy. Paul says we all head to the Luxor. That's where they go.
Yeah, the Luxor.
And,
Yeah.
and then Ed Igma says even a man that has nothing can still offer his life. That's right, for the emperor. You got to do the sign of the Aquila. And then,
it was. Did you know? What was her name? The princess in Flash Gordon. Oh, I can't remember. It was just her birthday the other day.
oh, was it? Well,
Yeah.
speaking of
There's
big
been a lot of
birthdays,
birthdays lately.
yeah,
A crap load of
Ramon
birthdays. I was like,
RZ, one of our big time
Yep.
followers and listeners,
Raymond Rizzo.
it's his birthday today. So happy birthday!
Yep.
Happy birthday!
and it's my wife's birthday today. Happy birthday, dear. I know you're not watching, so it doesn't really matter that I say happy birthday, but you don't
She
watch
could
anyway.
be listening because
No, she won't listen.
get
She
this.
hates science
No,
fiction.
we're on Spotify, my friend. We're on Spotify.
Well, it'll
And
be about a
so,
year before
you know,
she gets to that one then, because it's gonna.
That's okay.
We're
You could
we're
just
getting
fast,
there.
you could just skip.
We're
Skip,
we're
skip.
We're doing a season
go.
behind. So right now, season 1 is going to Spotify. Season 2, we're existing in, and we're coming up on season 3. By the way, in September we
Yep,
start
so-
season 3. So
So for those of you that want to just listen, you can hook us right up, pull it right up
Yep.
on Spotify, and there we are.
Yeah, Spotify or Facebook. It'll pop up on Facebook too. It's
Yeah.
If you're a podcast, Pete talked me into podcasting.
Which was
Pete wanted a
my
podcast right off the bat. I've told him
podcast,
vidcast,
yeah.
so it's where we ended up here.
Yeah, and here we
I
are.
like it here a whole lot better than I would podcasting. Podcasting
Oh,
just
boy.
seems so
Listen. The reason
visually
I said that is
unstimulating.
no. The reason I said that was because I did radio for
Yeah.
a little over a year and had a show, and so I was very comfortable with the idea of going back into the podcast is a lot like being radio, and doing this is a lot different, but
this is fun.
we're enjoying it very much, and we're glad
You can't do this on podcast.
Yes, well, you're waving your hand, so those that are
See,
listening.
now,
don't
now
know.
they know. Otherwise, if, when I build the podcast, they wouldn't have known unless you said something.
Jeff Walters says, been doing the Audible books also, listening and Deliverance. It's kind of a cross between Battlestar Galactica and Aliens. Okay.
Deliverance sounds
interesting.
like the movie, like bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's something else. But
Isn't it? Is that the same
John-
thing? Maybe not. I don't know.
maybe not. John One says, New York Pete got me into the books too, waiting for the minions to set it up for me. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Yeah, you can have a
Yeah,
good time.
audio books are great if you're a driver. I always
yeah.
I always feel like I'm getting something more out of it than music.
Me
Because
too.
music
100%.
is you sing along with music, and music kind of dulls your brain. But in my opinion, and then some people are different, in my opinion, I think if you listen to the audiobooks while you're driving or whatever else, you actually expand your brain a little bit more than you do with music. Now, I do still listen to music, especially when the Audible books get tiring. So I drive a lot. So if I'm driving like 4 or 5 hours and I start getting tired, then I'll switch over to music, and then it's a concert starring the Tipsy Toaster.
There you go.
Thank God
Yeah,
nobody
hopefully
else
you
is
got
in the
the windows
car and the windows are rolled up, because
rolled up.
I
Thank
will.
God. Okay. All right. We got that straight. Paul Roeder says Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle.
Yep.
Oh, get this. Enigma says, don't mention Logan's Run because all of us would have gone to Carousel by now.
Oh yeah. Well, I think in the
book,
movie,
it's 21.
In the book, it's 21. In the movie, it's like 35.
Yeah.
So in the book, it's 21, and
Renew.
Carousel is and
Renew.
It's not a there is no sanctuary. And Box. Box was amazing. So, well, we're gonna have a whole. We're gonna do some episodes.
We're gonna do a show. That's
we're gonna do episodes on different ones. So Pete had started put together a list of shows that we're gonna kind of concentrate on, and maybe do some like trivia with it too. So we do a trivia contest type thing, or just have fun trivia with it. But yeah, so Logan's Run's one of them, and that's gonna be one of my favorites because I'm a Logan's Run fan. I love Logan's Run. I even like the TV series where everybody poo-pooed on it, but
there's a comic book.
I have them all.
You have them all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. Enigma says renew. And Mediocre Modeler says happy birthday, Mrs. Tipsy Toaster.
Yep.
Paul says Omega has the power of the Irish. And John 1 says Ornella Muti. And Muffet is the hero. Yes, Jeff, that is correct. George G is in the house. Better late than never. George G, welcome to the show, of course.
He's at Studio 54.
Yeah, he's on set somewhere. He's on break, right? I thought the same thing when I first saw it. It was a place in Arkansas where bad things happen, but actually it's a pretty good book. I will post the author. It's a series of books similar to Battlestar and Aliens crossover. Yeah, put that up for us, Jeff. That sounds pretty interesting.
Or hit me up on hit me up on a instant message so I can get a look at it. I've got some credits I have to spend. I have a crap load of books to go through still. So,
oh my God, Mediocre Modeler just posted this. I spend several hours in the car listening to audiobooks as well. You'll have to call me and we'll have a sing-off. First category up, sea shanties.
I do have sea shanties on my. I do. That I like pirate. Better yet, Mediocre. Try pirate heavy metal. So ALESTORM, Ailstorm.
All right, we can have a whole episode.
A whole episode on that kind of weird music stuff because I definitely listen to weird music. Weird Al, Ailstorm.
What's the other
pirate heavy metal? What?
What's the other one? What's the other crazy video one that?
Little Big.
They're verboten now, but what are they?
Little Big. Yeah.
Little Big. Yeah, those guys. That's whacked. Okay, Jeff says it's MR Phobes.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. I've got a couple of books.
Okay. Chris Moore should do a box cosplay.
Yeah, I would love to.
Sanctuary is IFB on Thursday nights. That's exactly what it is, Mediocre Modeler. Thank you.
There is no
Babylon
Sanctuary.
5. That's right. I left Babylon 5 off the list.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put that one.
Oh my God.
Farscape too.
Oh my God. Yes, we did. We left those two off. I'm going to put them on the back.
Yeah, put Farscape on there too.
Real quick, let me.
If you like Muppets and you like science fiction, Farscape is your thing, man.
Oh yeah, but there's only one character that's actual. But
no.
Listen, before we get
there is multiple characters that are Muppets. There's the driver of the ship.
Yes, that's right. And the one character the main character, right? But you could say the ship is too. Yeah. Okay. So I actually have a CD of classical music on the bagpipe. Fran, that's excellent. All right, Fran, who's going to be one of our guests. She is a fan fiction writer, and amongst other things, but she did write a bunch of Galactica stuff back in the day, and therefore we have her locked in. She's going to be one of our guests, and we're looking forward to having her and discussing, the classic Galactica fan fiction stuff that she wrote herself. And so, guys, listen real quick. May, we're going to have a Buck Rogers and the 25th Century theme episode. We're going to do an Airwolf as well. June will be V and $6 Million Man and Land of the Lost.
V, yes.
Oh, yeah. And Alien Nation in July, and They Live.
I love They Live. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's it. And Roddy Piper. So August, we're going to do Buckaroo Banzai and Logan's Run. And September, of course, Battlestar Galactica premiere, and that'll be the 15th. And the 29th, we'll do Knight Rider. October is Highlander and Planet of the Apes. November, we're looking at Thundar the Barbarian and Automan. And in December, we'll be doing Quantum Leap and Firefly to round out the year. And in the wings, we have a whole bunch of other stuff, including Babylon 5 and Farscape, but that's for later. So that's what the year looks like. Chris, I wanted to mention this too, real quick. Do you know what space is flavored like?
No. What does space taste like? It's got to be cold. It's got to be really cold. Actually, if you tasted space, your tongue would freeze and break into millions of pieces. You couldn't use it. Plus, if you were in space and your tongue was exposed, then your mouth is exposed, you'd probably be dead anyway. So space tastes like death.
Okay, so you need to stop being so cynical, because Coca-Cola...
Cynical is truth.
No, wait a minute. Just hold on. Coca-Cola has a Starlight limited edition space-flavored Coke.
There is no flavor called space.
Okay, my friend. Listen, partner. It says right here, I'm holding
just because
it up to
Coca-Cola says there's a taste in
flavor.
Space, they're trying to trick you into it. Go out into space, stick your tongue out, and see if you can taste it.
We're going to taste these on the air. We're going to actually drink these and describe what space tastes like. So there, because It'll
probably taste like soda.
Listen, Chris, next time you go up in the space shuttle or whatever, vehicle you have.
We're Cylons, man. We don't have taste buds anyway, so.
So we're gonna drink this. It's space flavored. I believe in space.
It's got to taste better than 40-year-old bubble gum.
Which you did, and
I'm sure it tastes better than 40-year-old bubble gum.
Yes, and we had such a good time with that, everybody. If you didn't go back and watch our episode when we opened up those 40-year-old Battlestar Galactica cards and Chris ate the bubble gum, you need to go back and watch it.
I still can taste that.
Every time we talk about it, I'm laughing. It was a lot of fun. It tastes like Coke. No, it doesn't taste like Coke. George says it tastes like Coke.
George is right.
Chris Laskowski says it tastes like vanilla. Are you kidding? It tastes like space. Oh,
maybe space tastes like vanilla. We don't know. We've never been out to space to stick our tongues out and have them froze and break off.
Paul says empty flavor. Jeff Walters, Buck Rogers, yes. Firefly, another great series, killed off by Dip Brain Networks. Agreed, Fran. And Cylons Lizards Behind the Mask. Sean from Battlestar Bulletin Board says $6 Million Man met Lee Majors a few years ago at Phoenix Fan Fusion. Great guy. Also met Lee Majors. He was traveling at an airport. I ran into him, recognized him. Really nice guy. And I met Oscar Goldman at a New York Comic-Con, and that guy was the year before he passed, and the guy was a great guy. So speaking of conventions, Tipsy, we received our press.
See what you've done to John? Look what you've done to John.
Half my day tomorrow will be, where'd it go? We'll be looking for that Coke. Yes, John. Excellent. We're going to tell you when we're going to drink it, so you can, you be drinking it too. Best served cold. Yeah. Classic episode. Chewing 4 decades old gum was great. Loved Airwolf. Yes, of course. And, what was that? Yes. Aliens. That's right. So, we got press credentials for our convention.
That's something we could definitely announce. So we heard back from AwesomeCon, which is in my neck of the woods. So
yes,
right down the road from the Base Star is AwesomeCon. So Pete came down last year for AwesomeCon, and this time we didn't have to pay for tickets, which is nice. So we actually got press credentials for AwesomeCon. We also put in for a panel. We'll see if we get that one in regards to.
It's still open, Chris.
They're just closing the panel submissions tonight, I think.
Tonight. So hopefully we'll get the panel, but if not, we're going to do. We got our press credentials again, and we'll be doing all the interviews, putting it up. Last time we actually interviewed the director of programming, and so she came on, and that was it was really nice of them. And so you know,
Yeah,
they
Awesome Con
wanted,
was kind of our very first
yeah,
man on
it
the
was.
street interviews after COVID thing hit. So
And we had a great time doing it. They
Yep.
enjoyed our coverage, and you know they liked it. And so we're going back. We're doing it again.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. Good convention. As a matter of fact, Anthony Daniels is one of their top guests. So I
help
might.
me.
I'm
Who's that?
C3PO, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah, it's Star Wars, man.
Star
Triple
Wars.
T. I've got 2 box sets of the original Alien Nation trading cards with the gum in them.
Ooh, there you go. I'm not eating them though. But you know, for 2 boxes, for a box set, I may have to look one up. So I didn't know that, you know, there's a lot of, we talked about going to a show that had a non-sports trading card show too. That's in
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
So
they've been
that's
doing
something
it
that's
for
kind of neat.
decades.
I don't collect a lot of cards. Pete's more of the card person than I am.
Yeah,
But when it comes to non-sports cards, I could get into some of them. I mean, I've got you know, my Battlestar sets, and I still have stuff from way back when that they're not worth anything, because I got Wonder Bread cards from Star Wars.
oh, love them.
I got
love those
crap
cards.
loads of Star Trek cards. I think I gave most of my Star Trek cards to Pete because I'm like, I never look at these things.
Love those.
But if they had cards for Alien Nation, I probably would. I might have to start looking those up. I'll have to go look see if I can find some.
yeah, those are cool, man.
But
Definitely
I'm still
cool.
not eating the gum.
Battlestar Bulletin Board. Sean says Oscar Goldman, Richard Anderson had a small part in Forbidden Planet. I watched that DVD last week. The man is a gentleman. As a matter of fact, when I met him, he invited me to the they were doing the a press conference, and they were releasing the $6 Million Man Blu-ray, I believe it was, and the following week or something.
They didn't
and
put it
he
in 4K
actually,
though, did they?
I don't think so. I don't know. This is a while ago, and he gave me.
Man.
I'll
Some
I'll
great
find
shows
the
they should
business
put out in
card.
4K.
He gave me his business card and autographed it and invited me down. He goes, I'll put your name on the list. And it was really cool. At the time I was doing the radio show. It was a while ago. And really nice guy, man. I really enjoyed you know, meeting and speaking to him at the New York convention. But hey, so guys, we have talked about a lot of stuff, man, and we covered
We
comic
babbled
books.
on Babylon 5, babbled on.
Yes, Babylon
for quite a
5 is
while.
on our list. We're going to eventually do a special on that. But we now, I think, are going to turn to the epic Reborn, Battlestar Galactica Armageddon by Richard Hatch and Christopher Golden, a new novel based on the Universal television series created by Glenn A. Larson. And we are going to go over now. It's chapter 6, and I find it to be fantastic. I love this chapter. It was great right from the beginning.
It sucked.
There was a lot of Cylons being blown up and Starbucks in it, and Cylons getting shot. And there's a scene that
Hit the wrong button.
that's not
I deleted that. I don't know why it's still there, because we got every time I play that, we get a freaking a hit on.
So we got like 3 of them because you pressed it 3 times.
Well, no,
but
I
okay.
pressed it 3 times, so it would delete, you know, kind of mess up in between, so it's not going to get picked up on the back end. But if you play that on here, we already got a takedown strike for that. Believe it or not, that small little snippet they put.
Yeah, well,
we're
definitely going to get one.
I don't think
But
so.
Jeff says
I meant to hit this one.
You actually believe that Daggett drivel?
That's what I meant to hit.
I'm glad you brought him up, because we'll talk about what happens to one of the ILs in this chapter. Yeah, awesome.
This is almost
I
as
always
bad as the comic book tonight.
I imagine.
This is like the worst night for me.
I imagine what would happen if you actually. Well, we'll talk about it when it comes up. Jeff Walter says, I have a sheet of the original cards before they were cut. That is fantastic. That's cool. If we're going to talk about cartoons, how about Transformers Generation 1? Oh, Paul Roeder says, bravo. and the Cylon Empire is about to fall. Agreed, Paul. Agreed. So no way
This
Cylons
is a bad
rule.
night for book and comic.
Starbuck is back, and
you
Starbuck.
knew it was going to happen. Come on, give me a break.
Come on, cut it
You
out,
can't.
man.
You can't.
With you.
Oh, Starbuck's dead. Starbuck's dead. Starbuck's dead. Yeah, right. Whatever.
It might be. Adama's dead. That's not cool.
Yeah,
you know
cool.
what? You need to take a swig. You know what you need to do, Chris?
I need to freeze my tongue off. Yeah.
You need to mix some of this with some of the rum that you drink, and you'll be perfect because it'll be space flavored.
It'll be rum flavored, which is probably make it taste much better than space. It depends on how much rum you put in with the Coke.
You're so cynical, man. I love it. All right, so
tonight we are in chapter 6, right?
Yes, we are, sir. Chapter 6.
I gotta find my. I lost my.
It opens up with none other than the fact that.
Well, why don't we do a
Starbuck-
quick recap of the other one first? Of the
Okay.
chapters first. So the first chapter was Adama's dead.
Yes.
And then the rest of the chapters don't matter after that. Moving on.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have let you do that. That was uncalled for. But Starbuck is found. And
Starbuck was
we
supposedly
alluded-
crash landed in the second chapter.
No,
or in the first
crashed-
chapter. Yeah.
Crash and burn.
Well,
It was a crash and burn
he
situation.
Thought, they didn't see him crash, but they thought he was dead. So
Yeah, well, his Viper smashed into a Raider, and he couldn't separate, and both ships just hit the atmosphere of the planet, and they were like, "Well, he's dead,"
Yeah.
and he's not.
he's not. But
Definitely
But
not.
that's because in the last chapter, so there's a political vacuum. Who's going to take over the Galactica because Adama's dead, and then of course right now the person who is acting, as they put into my field, the acting area commander or the acting commander in this case, is Apollo.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of been a good and bad thing. And then he's also gone into he went into a special area inside of the Battlestar that's kind of got like a shrine-ish, and he's Kabolian. That sounds weird every time I say it. I don't know why.
It's Kobolian.
Kabolian. It just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like it should be from like Wisconsin. Some kind of cheese. I've had Kabolian cheese. So he's purebred Kabolian, as well as his sister, and we come to find out it's also Troy / Boxy is also Kabolian. But they're supposed to have a Kabolian takeover, but he goes into the Kabolian special area thing, and then he gets a hologram from Adama, and Adama says, "Hey, you've got these powers. Remember, we've done this stuff before." And he starts to concentrate for his powers, and he sees Starbuck running, and then bam, now we're into this chapter. Did I miss anything? That was kind of a good summary, right?
Nah, I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, Starbuck is running through the corridors. He's firing his laser, and he's blowing.
He's not firing his
Cylons.
laser. He's firing a silent, which is very important later on in the chapter.
It is, but we don't know that when we first read
Yeah.
the chapter. When we start, you're thinking, all right, maybe is it his laser pistol or not? We don't know.
Right.
But he's shooting, and just about every shot,
Right.
He's
He talks
taking
about how
out
he
on-
escaped. Yeah.
Yeah, and he takes out Cylons left and right. They're just coming at him. They're just like almost mindless. There's the problem is there's just
Whoa! What is this mindless thing? It didn't say mindless in there anywhere.
what?
It didn't say mindless in there anywhere. You're adding mindless to this.
Now you're taking offense. Is that it?
Yes, we're not
You're
mindless.
offended.
Yes.
They're mindless. Anyway, they're like drones. So they're attacking. They're trying to box Starbuck in, and he's got the laser, and so he's just shooting and running, and it's awesome. So he's just it's been days. They've captured him. It's been days, and he's been he hasn't been fed properly. He's dehydrated, and he got hurt.
It's
So
not
he's
our
injured.
fault. You guys have to have food and water. That's not, yeah.
Well,
The
I
lizards,
can't
you know,
believe that
we
you
lizards
guys are
don't need that.
torturing. He's a prisoner of war and he has rights, and you guys are mistreating him. And I mean, when I say you guys, you know, those of you that are not aware,
I agree with
Tipsy
Jeff here.
Toaster, the Tipsy Toaster is a Cylon in disguise. It's blowing away tin heads. It's funny how Starbucks always crashes, and first thing he does is fall in love with the Cylon. Well, I don't know about falling in love in this chapter. He's doing some, you know.
So
pretty
yeah, so
cool
there's
blowing
a lot of activity. He's running down the hallways trying to get saved, and he's pinned down. He's got a couple of gold Cylons. It's important that the thing that says in here I like, and you know, of course, this is Richard Hatch's version, which kind of goes along with the very original version, which is the Cylons are not robots; they're in armor, and they're lizards. So you know, he's you know, there's the lizards. He's attacking, and he shoots one, I think, and this is I hate reading this because it's just horrible.
Oh, I'll read it for you.
So it's
this is great.
Starbuck cried out in anger as he rolled to one side, avoiding a laser blaster. He fired back at the Cylon captain. Fell one of the cyborg's arms, torn from its body by the laser. Dark blood spurted from the wound as circuitry sparked.
Wow, that's a cool image.
Maiming.
That's a cool image.
Killer.
That's just So he took out a Vulpa gold Cylon, right? He calls him a captain, and he takes out a whole bunch of other Cylons.
And then he's getting ready to get killed, and then the door opens.
Yes, the door opens, and this is perfect, man. I always wondered what would happen as a kid. I was like so aggravated.
Because you never seen one get shot.
I was like, what would happen if you were able to actually shoot Lucifer or Spectre in the head as you're trying to get away from them? And you know what? Starbuck gets to do it. It's awesome. So it happens. It happens in this chapter.
Yep.
The door opens, he goes in, and when he turns around, he calls them ambassador types. They're not fighters. So the IL-5 series are not fighters at all. They're talkers. And so he blasts him in the head, and it just shatters the head, right?
Yeah, but he calls him a diplomat. The diplomat screams out when he opens up the door. Here, the human is here. I can almost hear this in Lucifer's voice too. He has escaped. Take him now. Yeah. He's just here. That's when
the human. Yeah, here. The human is here. He has escaped. Take him now. He is here. The diplomat cried. Enough of that Felger carb. He lifted his stolen laser and blasted the diplomat's transparent skull to shards. The body, get this, the body fell heavily to the floor and did not move. He was happy to have that blaster. His own weapon would not have been half as effective against the Cylons. He would have to make sure he held on to it.
See, the Cylon weapon is superior to the Colonial blaster.
It's superior in destroying their own people. That's just, why would you do that?
It's superior to whatever you're shooting at, evidently. But
oh no, this is great. The diplomat's transparent skull to shards blasted the diplomat's transparent skull to shards. Dude, that's like as if So some IL series just got obliterated. So what? Sounds
I'm
like
more
Dr.
okay with
Smith.
that than I am with the comic, to tell you the truth. So
okay, because the comic. Oh, all right. That's not the end of this, guys. So let me tell you what happens is that because the IL calls out, a whole bunch of Cylons come in, and
and it's a
Starbuck
Cylon party.
Yeah, Cylon party. He tries to lock the door. He blasts the controls. They still manage to get in. He looks over to the side and he sees that there is a window. So the window gets blasted open, and he looks down and he can see that way down the side of this cliff is a river of some sort, right?
Right.
It's,
He thinks maybe that the Cylons are using it for a hydro power plant.
yeah, because I think there's he didn't say waterfall, right? But I think there is a waterfall, something
Yeah.
like that, right? Yeah. So yeah. So what do you think he does? Of course, the only option is he's gonna throw himself out the window and hope he doesn't die. And
Again.
he does. Yes, again. Yeah.
He doesn't die again.
Well, it says Jeff Walter says if you would wait a little bit, he would have seen a small human run out of the robes of the dead ambassador. Little Felix Sela would be like running out. Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah. Electronic Felgocarb. That's right, Paul. That's all it is. So, Starbuck jumps out. He lands, almost drowns.
It breaks a bone or two.
Yeah. And he's then he feels like somebody's there with him. And
Apollo wakes up
Apollo
out of his trance. And he sees it all and he's like, so what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Well,
Apollo's going to risk the fleet just to go get Starbuck.
No, he says, wait a minute. Apollo says he's got like one cycle. He's got like 7 hours before he takes command.
Yeah.
So I think the idea is that Apollo's going to actually go try to rescue Starbuck, which makes sense, right? I mean, they're best buddies. And so that's that. So all hail.
And then we switch over to one of my
Starbuck.
favorite characters, Baltar.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
So Baltar has been one of the things we didn't cover in our preview is Baltar has been deposed, right? That's the right word?
Yeah.
He's been deposed. And Lucifer is now in charge of the Battlestar, and Baltar is now Lucifer's position as an advisor. At least they didn't kill him, which is what he finally realizes that there was a plus to this deal. But he is now the advisor, and he's asleep in his quarters.
Yeah.
And something wakes him up. It says, Baltar. And he's like, what? Yeah, what's going on? He raises his hand, sats up slowly. He looks around. He can't find out what it is. He turns on the light, and the light goes back off again. And he kind of recognizes the voice. It doesn't really give a hint. I'm wondering who this is going to be. I mean, there's a lot of people it could be, but there's only one person I think it's going to be. But he says, who are you? What do you want? And says, how would you like to know the location of the ragtag fleet in the Battlestar Galactica?
Oh, yeah.
And Baltar's like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, tell me what it is. So, and then that kind of stops at that point.
Yeah, but Baltar he figures out, like he kind of thinks he knows who it is, and I think we know who it is too. Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh yeah, it's good, man. It's good. So
tune in next week when we find out who the voice is. Maybe
who the voice is and what happens to what Baltar does. But that's Armageddon, and it's a good book so far. So good, guys. And there is there's like that controversy and stuff. So we have scheduled, right, Chris? We are definitely going to Awesome Con.
Yes.
You're going to Dragon Con.
Yes.
And we are, piecing together, what
trying
other
to get
conventions.
To
Philly and
Chicago.
Yeah, those are the two others that we're trying to squeeze in for the year. Not to mention, of course, New York Comic Con will be later in the year. But hopefully we can run into some of you. And Chris, do you have one of those patches that
it's
Rob
in
sent
my
us?
window of my car.
Hey, check that out, Rob. He's got in the window of the car.
Yeah, I put it in the back window of my car so everybody can see it.
Oh,
so
nice. Very cool.
Yep. The other ones are mailed out. So
again, thanks, Rob, for sending us patches that he had from he had picked up a whole bunch of them, so he sent us a bunch. Thank you very much for sharing that. Very, very cool. Mediocre Modeler and John 1, thank you for getting us the beers that we're drinking tonight. Actually, I'm drinking cider. I enjoy my cider. And don't nod your head. The Tipsy Toaster's nodding his head. I enjoy a good hard cider. What the hell's the matter with you?
I don't know why they call it hard cider. What is that, like 4% alcohol, 3%, 5% maybe?
Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, it's 5%.
Yeah. Budweiser's got more alcohol than that does.
Okay. Well, you know what? I enjoy Budweiser.
Oh my! I used to respect you, but no.
Budweiser and Pabst Blue Ribbon and Coors.
I could drink a Pabst.
I like inexpensive beer, man. I just do. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
All right, ready to move on to comic.
It is what it is. Yeah, the comic book that you've been dodging for weeks. So everybody, stay tuned. Of course, next week we'll be doing the next chapter in Armageddon, and for the closing of our show tonight, we're gonna actually do a Battlestar Galactica comic book, The Enemy Within, and it's a Maximum Press edition, and it's a great storyline, and the artwork is quite original. Rob Liefeld is the one behind this, and it's pretty cool. Unknown to many, but this is licensed, and the stories are cool. I see Chris has the over the head. Yep, loud and clear. He's got an overhead camera on the comic book, and so he loves to go through this. He's going to be a little annoyed because his
I can say at least this much: there is some good-looking drawings in this. So there's some very good-looking drawings in this. So this is The Enemy Within. This is number 2. So the previous one, if you don't remember, they've excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Previous ones, Commander Kane is Commander Kane is there with his grandson, which is named after him, so Kane, and they were flying around an asteroid field very recklessly, and they came across a ship, and the ship is flown by nobody. They go inside, they find somebody who's frozen inside, kind of deal, suspended animation. They get him out. His name is Ares.
Uh-oh.
And so they're like, oh, who's it? So they think he's one of the lost people. So they're investigating his ship. So Apollo's still not so sure that this guy is who he is. He's like one of the ancients. But they don't know for sure. So they're looking at Ares' ship. So they're kind of taking it apart here. So you got a big picture of Ares' ship. And they've got Dr. Wilker, which looks a whole lot like Flash Gordon. I mean,
oh boy,
the old Flash. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like a whole lot like Flash Gordon. So they're investigating a ship, and then it's like, oh, it looks like it's controlled by, and this is Adam, by the way. So Adam was in the previous comic set. So Adam is the original. Adam and Eve, his wife, are original descendants from the 13th tribe that were kind of put in suspended animation. They found him on this planet that they think is Earth. So Dr. Wilker, in this case, you see him, a couple of pictures here. He's on the bridge of this craft, and Adam is there with Apollo, and he's like, hey, it looks like it's it matches the time frame that this is, and it's controlled by mental capacity. It's telepathy kind of controls it and everything to that effect. And they're like, oh, okay, so this is looking more and more like this Ares guy is pretty good. So they flip to that, and they go to where they're rebuilding this picture. They're kind of rebuilding the Earth, and they're putting a new colony on Earth. And this is the big ship that they talked about, this big triangle thing in the corner here, that Adam and Eve were on top of, and it's got a special weapon that can keep the Cylons away. And
great.
So this is so they're rebuilding it, and so here we have Ares, and Ares is with Athena, and he kind of uses his mental capacity, and he breaks some of the scaffolding and causes it to fall down, and then becomes the hero. So he runs in, there's a kid inside, and he runs inside, and you can see from the pictures, he's like, oh no, my son, kind of deal. And Athena watches this, and he goes in and saves the kid.
Awesome.
But but he's the one that caused it to begin with, which is kind of weird. So, but he's trying to look like the human, the hero of this whole thing. And they get done with it, and it's like, I hate this, by the way. Says, yes, thank you for saving my son, even though you caused the collapse, you idiot. But they don't know that.
Oh, stop it.
So, yes, I'm coming to tell the commander about this. I'm going to tell the commander about this. This deserves a warrior's feast. And Athena says, that and a lot more.
Oh, excellent.
Don't do it, Athena. Please.
Boyfriend material.
You're going to break my heart.
Boyfriend material.
Oh, yeah. He's evil. We already know that.
No, he's
already
not.
Yeah, he is. He already contacted the Galactica in the last issue, or the Cylons in the last issue. So, this is cool. So, kind of a flashback, if you remember Battlestar Galactica number 3, I think it was, where 2 or 3, where Sheba was not Sheba, but the one that got killed. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, come on.
Not Sheba.
You can do it.
Serena. And kind of Serena was became a warrior. Well, Sheba's always been a warrior, but she kind of took away from the warrior thing to raise their son. Well, their son is now, or their 2 sons actually in this case, their son is now pretty much grown. So, and she looked good in this, by the way. So Sheba, come on, what are you doing in there? It's not, we got to go for the game. So they're headed to a game, and she walks out in this outfit, and I mean wow, outfit, and she is decked to the nines, and she says, Lieutenant Sheba reporting for duty. And I mean, she looks wow.
All right.
And of course, there's that same kind of fight that happened in the, hey, you shouldn't be in that. And so, it's the same exact fight that Apollo and Serena kind of had during their actual show, where he's like, I don't want you being a warrior. And she's like, I've been a shuttle pilot for so long. This is kind of the, she's coming back into the warrior cast. And they're like, I'm not sure about that. So we leave this, and they're headed to go watch the match. So here we are with the match. And the match is going to be Troy and Boomer. What is it? Is Troy and Boomer? It was Boomer. That was Boomer and Ares and Troy and Starbuck.
Oh boy!
Against each other. So
right.
It's on. So Ares is there, and of course Ares has already saved the world at this point. According to everybody else. So this is some really very nice. I love the drawings in here, how they're angled. So you got some angled drawings in here with all of the action in regards to what a match looks like, a triad match, and it is really nice triad match. But of course they're getting their butts handed to them because Ares is supernatural and do all that other stuff. So Ares and Boomer are going to win.
Yay!
So the end of it went. They're the blue team and the yellow team. They win. Really, something at the end of this match is really interesting, is because, it's everyone loves Ares, especially Athena. I should be happy for her. She's this is Apollo thinking. So why am I worried? I don't know. And then Colonel Boomer, Lieutenant Cleo, So this girl shows up at the end of this little part of this, and it says, "What do you think of the game, Lieutenant?" It says, "I thought you played brilliantly as usual, Dad."
Oh.
So Boomer has a daughter too.
Whoa.
And it ends that part of the story ends, and we pick up a new part where we're with Baltar and Lucifer, which once again, I don't really like the drawing of Lucifer in here. It's just like it looks like a toe, but he's all red. He doesn't have the dome.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
But so he's like, "Has there been any report from Hades? They're on the ship Hades. There's been any report from Ares?" And they're like, "No, we haven't heard from him." He says, "Well, it's fine. Continue with the operation." So Ares is a Cylon agent.
Oh, boy.
So that's just a quick reminder that it's just only one page that says, "Hey, don't forget, Ares is a Cylon agent, and he's still working for the Cylons." Then comes the worst part of this book. They have a big warriors feast with Ares, and I would especially, Athena's there and Ares is there, and there's some chemistry going on. And too bad it's not explosive chemistry, but it's chemistry. So, it's like they leave, and that's what when and Boomer's daughter says, "Hey, that's what you need, Dad, is some romance." And
boy,
there's no romance in Boomer's life, evidently. Maybe we'll get some in the next book or something. All right. Change of scenery again. So that's the end of that one, and we go over to Commander Kane and Starbuck, and this is a back and forth with Starbuck and Commander Kane. In the previous issues, Cassiope is dead. And Starbuck feels responsible, and Kane is trying to get it out of Starbuck to what happened, and it just Starbuck is pretty much telling him, "Hey, made a mistake, and she's dead." So that's kind of all this conversation back and forth, and ends up being that. This is, so you were command of that mission. He says, "Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. She died, and it was my fault. Anything else you want to know?" That's
oh boy.
So that's that. Oh, I hate this part. You just hold this part off. This part's great. This side. And talk about damn.
Too bad it doesn't look like Marion Jensen though.
Marion Jensen's over here. This is Serena.
Who's that?
This is Serena. Serena Apollo. So Serena's like this kind of let's say it. It's makeup sex. So I hate when we fight. You need to be I need to be a warrior again. And they're just about to do it. By the way, they get a really kind of a tiny picture there, but she's on top. And she looks really good, by the way. Sorry, girls out there, but I'm a guy. Apollo probably looks pretty good to you. But she looks pretty wild. She looks pretty built, let's put it that way. So, and it's funny, at this point, we finally get to Rigel. Rigel comes up and he says, so they're getting ready to, have the makeup thing. And he gets a call, right in the middle of it, So, this is Commander Apollo. It's like, how dare you leave me, is what I would have said.
Oh, boy.
I love this part. This is Lieutenant Colonel Rigel.
Oh, boy.
So she's moved up in rank.
Yeah. Wow.
We're having some malfunctions. There's been some interference. We've lost all sensors. He says, "All right, I'm on my way." And how disappointing I'm sure that is for Serena. So now we move over to the next scene, which
come on,
scene.
Come on.
This guy's scum. Athena, don't do it, but she does. So. So they're like, "Hey, would you like to walk me to my quarters?" I said, "Yeah." I says, "Well, would you like to come in and have an ambrosia before you go to your sleep period?" He says, "I would like to come in, but I do not require sleep."
Oh.
Then, what is it you require?
Oh, boy.
This. I hate this.
Be an adult.
That's
So
all I need
there's
to say. I mean,
there's
you've
a
got
picture.
her after sex snooze going on. She still looks good, but and he looks pretty good too. I mean, I'm not into that, but he's well built. I mean, come on. Not as well built as a Chrome Cylon would be, but
Oh boy.
so
Chris,
she's sleeping. What?
this is funny.
So she's sleeping after, the ambrosia. That's what I'm going to think. It's just she just got drunk. That's what happened. Really, nothing else happened.
That's what Jeff says. Jeff Walters says it's the ambrosia.
Yeah, it was the ambrosia. That's what happened. Nothing else. So he picks up his little fake communicator and he talks to Lucifer.
Lucifer that looks not like
a
Lucifer, but
a red toe.
anyway. Yeah.
Red toe Lucifer. And says, so I've called. I've got we've got it on offline. They're trying to destroy the temporal drive that's on the ship. So bam, we move over to the temporal drive. Oh wow, there's a That's interesting. The staple is sticking up, and I just stuck my hand in it.
That's what you get for losing faith in Athena.
That's Athena's revenge.
Athena's revenge.
That sounds like a drink. I gotta have one of those.
Yeah, no kidding.
Give me an Athena's revenge. You guys need to read the credits in the front if you didn't get to read those. We had some good
they're
good
funny.
drinks listed there. So this is Dr. Wilker, and he's trying to discover the temporal drive and everything else. And of course, after putting drugs in her drink, that's what I'm going to say. That's kind of my and drugging her and putting her to sleep. They didn't have sex.
That's not what happened. It's
didn't
not
have
what
sex.
Happened. It's
And,
your jealousy speaking, and it makes me laugh. That's why I'm laughing.
It's not sex. He drugged her. That's it. That's the
Your
only way it happened.
jealousy.
So
It's funny.
he goes and sneaks up on Dr. Wilker, and he kind of knocks him out and tries to overload the temporal drive on the Galactica so they can't get away or they can't go anywhere else. And so during that, he pretty much there's a big explosion on the Galactica, and that's a really cool picture, by the way.
Yeah.
With the orange and the kaboom.
Yeah.
Or crack-kaboom.
Crack-kaboom.
And this is a really cool picture, too, with the flames coming out of the back of the Galactica where he destroyed the drive.
Yeah.
And of course, suddenly he's back into the thing. So it's Apollo and Serena, and then him and Athena, they're waking up, they're going, what the hell was that noise? And it's like, oh, no, what's going on? And there's been an explosion on the Galactica. There's some firefighting stuff going on. And then, of course, who shows up to save the day? Who do you think? Ares, the person who blew up the Galactica to begin with, is now going to be the human. And Apollo's like, well, he has a habit of showing up when something bad's going on. So Apollo's kind of getting in on this.
He's on to him.
Yeah, he's on to him.
Muffet.
What? Muffet?
No, not Muffet.
No Muffet, yeah. So saving the day seems to be his specialty.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, it killed Dr. Wilker, and what are we gonna do? And Ares is like, oh, I saved those people, and thanks again, and it's, oh good Lord. And it says, too bad we can't find out what happened. Too bad Dr. Wilker's not here. We can't find out what happened. And we find out Dr. Wilker, as the picture shows, is a fracking robot.
He's a Cylon.
Well, he's not a Cylon. He's a cyborg.
Cyborg.
So Dr. Wilker is a cyborg, and he's still somewhat alive. So Ares is going to be kind of screwed at this point because Dr. Wilker saw Ares do this.
To be continued.
So we'll have to figure out if the half of Dr. Wilker's left, which is, if you look at the picture, it's just his upper torso is still alive.
Yeah. Oof.
And then it says to be continued. So we'll find out if Dr. Wilker rats on them.
Yeah.
But there's some
All
really
right.
cool pictures. I mean, Athena is just gorgeous in this. The sleeping Athena there, and of course the other picture that's really gorgeous is Serena. Really great drawings, I think. And then just the explosion drawings were really cool in this.
Oh yeah.
I think, and then he did a really good job. Who was the artist on this? It wasn't Liefeld. Liefeld did the story, right? Publisher
I don't know.
was Liefeld.
Yeah.
Promotions, marketing, story was Liefeld. Script was Nate. Art, Hector Gomez. That's it.
Hector
That's why
Gomez. Yeah.
Hector Gomez, who does a lot of good stuff. So that kind of finishes off number 2 of The Enemy Within.
Right.
So it's and once again, it's kind of got that, if you look at the pictures, they kind of got that steampunk look to it, but still,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I mean, it's not that bad.
Well,
And then I want to show off real quick.
what do you got? What else you can? Oh my God.
I got Alien Nation books.
You got a whole collection of Alien Nation paperbacks.
Yes,
Oh my God.
Alien Nation paperbacks. So
Oh boy.
I've got
They
number
look
1.
They're great condition.
Yeah, they're really great condition. So some of these were based on the telemovies, and some of them
Right.
not. So this is Day of Descent. This one is Dark Horizon, number 2. This
Wow.
one's Body and Soul.
Wow.
This one is The Change.
I don't think I
This one
I
was
don't remember
not,
seeing those at all.
This was a never
Wow.
seen. This one's never been seen before script. So this one didn't get to a movie. This is number 5 is Slag Like Me. So if you don't remember the show, the slags are kind of the derogatory terms, kind of like back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
We won't say the word here. Back in the 50s when they had a person of color. This really wasn't, we'll talk about that when we do the Alienation thing.
Right.
Alienation number 6 is Passing Fancy. This is a new novel. Didn't get made into a movie or a television series. Extreme Prejudice is another one. Is a new one. And then Across of Blood was the last one, number 8. And then when we say
Those
telemovies, here are the telemovies.
Oh boy. So you
This-
have the actual. Oh,
Yeah, these are the
look at
telemovies.
that.
You can find these on YouTube, but to find them without all the commercials or whatever else going on YouTube and in good shape, you have to buy one of these things. If you see one of these in the store and it's under $50, buy it because it's $199 to $120 to get one of these things. To get the telemovies because they don't make them anymore. And so this is Dark Horizon, Body and Soul, Millennium, The Enemy Within, and the Odora Legacy. We're all telemovies, so we'll talk a little bit more about Alienation when we get to the thing. But the telemovies were put up after the series ended, which is interesting because it was still popular enough for them to do telemovies, but it
Right.
was not popular enough to continue to another season. I never
Right.
could figure that out, why that would be that way, but that's kind of the way it is. But that's kind of that. And then Pete had shown earlier, I had to get one too. I got my Mini-Mates.
Oh boy.
The only one I wanted, which was the 30th anniversary Cylon Empire set.
It's cool. It really is cool.
That is
though.
cool.
Yeah.
I want to
if-
take
if
them out and
anybody
play
looks-
with them.
If you look them up, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read off some of our comments.
All right. Well, I'll move back over. So.
Okay. Paul says that Lucifer in that comic book that we just went over is not that fancy. Yes, correct. He's just
Yeah,
like this,
kinda sucks.
red-faced blob. So that wasn't that cool. So Mediocre Modeler says, too bad the Scooby-Doo crew isn't on the Galactica. They would figure out what's causing all the problems. I agree. And then, of course, Chris Laskowski tells us from Down Under that he just found the comic online and will be reading it soon. Absolutely.
Um, Um,
Um,
It is good. It's a good comic. It's a
yeah.
good storyline. I really like the storyline.
And Jeff Walters wants to know, do you have all the comics, The Alienation? The answer is no, not yet.
Working on it.
And yeah, Jeff also is now craving raw beaver and spoiled milk.
You'll have to watch the show if you don't know what that means.
Yes. And Jeff Walters also says, Gary sent me a complete collection of Alienation with a letter. It's one of my prized things.
Yep.
And Jeff, thanks so much for hooking
Yeah,
that
Jeff
up.
has been amazing. Thanks for hooking us up with Gary.
Yeah, Gary Graham.
He was a bit amazing. And if you missed our, we didn't do a whole lot of talk about Alien Nation, which wasn't, once again, that wasn't our intention. Maybe we can have Gary back on and we can interview about Alien Nation.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to talk to Gary about what he was up to and what things were going on in his life. So we kind of concentrated on that during the interview piece, and we get to talk about his Kirk, or his Sons of Kirk band and everything else, and we got to listen to some of the music, which was great. It was fun to talk to. He was like sitting down talking to a friend. It was really fun. You don't get that feeling with a lot of Hollywood stars.
No,
he's
Gary
a real
was
cool
fun.
Dude. Yeah. And hopefully we can have him back on and we'll talk more about Alien Nation and a couple of those kind of things. But we didn't go really deep into that because, face it, I'm sure he's been asked 10,000 questions about the same stuff every single time, So we didn't want to do that to him in regards to let's find out, what did you think of Alien Nation? Was it and he said, if you go back and watch the YouTube videos of him, he'll answer all those questions for you in there. So but he was great. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Next month, James Morrison, Colonel McQueen from Space
Above
and Beyond.
I've been rewatching A Space Above and Beyond. I think I just did. And they're on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll search YouTube, you can find them.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, they're
probably illegal, but they're on YouTube. So
that's not. Yeah, we're not condoning anything like that, but we're just telling you if you want to see them, they are available. Owen Cotter is going to be with us. Followed by
week after next, right?
And Yep. And then we're going to have let's see who else. Fran Severin is coming.
Yep. And it should be the 31st.
Yep. And then we have a couple others. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Chris, I'm gonna do my little closing that I usually do. We had a great show, and thanks to St. Mark's and Mitch for coming on. Really appreciate that, and we appreciate everybody that sticks around, everybody that watches us. So everybody that is on live and everybody else that's out there and watches us afterwards, we are honored. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for spending your time with us. Yes.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Thank you so much. So thanks for tuning in, and we love having you with us. Please keep clicking, the thumbs up and the subscribes. Don't forget to tell your friends about our show. And if you want to contact us, you can email us at info@interfleetbroadcasting.com. And from me to you guys, stay safe, be awesome. See you at our next show. Keep the faith, and remember, we truly believe that fans fuel the fleet. Thanks again. Chris, what do you got?
I would say just don't forget, we're trying to build our repertoire so people will take us seriously. So if we can go talk to a Hollywood writer, anybody, or a Hollywood director, or any of those people that are behind there, first thing they we ask them, hey, can we have an interview? First thing they do is they look at our sites to see how many people and how many followers we have. So that's usually where we have to push. So if you haven't done it, please check out YouTube. We're almost at 100 followers on YouTube, which sounds horrible. But we've done really well on Facebook lately, and we're at almost 2,700.
Almost 27, yeah.
Yeah, so
our reach is in the tens of thousands.
Reach is different than followers.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you say reach, that's how many people have clicked on videos or have come to your site. So, but if you haven't done it so far, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit all those sites. Go ahead and put a like on there, or a check, or follow, or whatever it may be that's required for those. It'd be great. We'd appreciate it. Because once again, we are a not-for-profit, so we're not making money on this deal. We're just having a ball. I can't believe we're having so much fun.
But absolutely.
It's fans like you that drive us, and it's fans like us that drive us. So we want to make sure that we can get the quality of information, and we can get the people on here that you would like to hear from. So thanks again for showing up. And as I always say, you ready, Pete?
Yes, Chris Dykes, Chuck Davenport. Also, thank you very much for the special effects.
Yep. Oh my gosh, yes. And they're working on a new one, so it'll be coming soon. I've seen some snippets of it. It's pretty cool.
It looks cool. Yep.
So thank you very much. Y'all take care. And of course, as we always say, fans fuel the fleet.
Fans fuel the fleet.
You're important.
Here's to you guys.
Suicide!